Hello and welcome to the Library Connection. I'm Summer Newman Ernest. The library staff and board would like to give a big thank you to TV47 for giving us the opportunity to showcase the B.B. Comer Memorial Library and its services to the greater Sylacauga community. Today we have a special guest joining us. We have Dr. Jon Segars, the superintendent of Sylacauga City Schools. And actually you were on, it's been a few years, when you first came here. I don't even know if you remember that.
I do remember.
So we're a whirlwind, but in a different position now that probably you didn't even anticipate at that time. How long have you been serving as superintendent now?
I am inside my 6th month.
Wow.
So it happened fast and, and the train's moving fast.
Wow, wow. Well, we are so excited that you chose, first of all, to come to Sylacauga, to stay here, and to serve in this very important position. I know we were sad to lose Dr. Freeman, but you've just fallen right in. And tell us some of the things, just a quick discussion. I mean, I think a lot of people know your background, but how you kind of landed here.
Well, it's an interesting background because I didn't come up like most educators in this business. 8 years ago I started teaching school. I walked right into a high school out of another profession, and I spent 5 years in that classroom, and all of a sudden I wound up in Sylacauga. I got a phone call one day, and the superintendent said, how'd you like to be a director? And I said, well, first of all, I'm not qualified. But second of all, I'd like to. And he goes, well, we can fix the first part then. So we did. It's been a good experience. So 3 years as a director, and now I sit in a superintendent's position, and I never would have dreamed it.
Well, and I think that one thing is as a superintendent, you're basically the CEO of a business, and
Right.
I think a lot of people look at it differently, that your background, your military background, and all of your experience is only assets in this position.
It is. You know, this is a people business.
Right.
And I grew up as a leader of people, and you don't have to know how to teach math or science or English to be a superintendent.
That's right.
And I would also argue that to be a principal or assistant principal, you need to know some of that stuff.
Sure.
But in the superintendent role, it's a 30,000-foot viewpoint of a school system, and you've got to manage all sorts of things. So
Right.
the classroom part, of course, is the most important, but sometimes it's the least of my worries because I know we've got professionals.
Well, you have capable, right.
Yeah, we've got
Right.
great people down there doing it, and sometimes I just sit and listen and watch them, and I'm just amazed at what we have in those classes.
Well, as superintendent in these first 6 months, what are some of your current goals, and things that have happened in the past 6 months?
Well, past 6 months has been fast. We started out strong, as we always do in Sylacauga schools. I came in with a few goals, and I said, you know, and I just mentioned it to you, make this a people business. It's not about programs, it's not about books, it's not about computers, it's not about resources, it's about the people.
Right.
So let's make this a people business and put the very best people in front of our students, because that's what they deserve.
Exactly.
The other thing is we want to work on student achievement. We always want to do that. That it's going to take time to improve scores, improve student learning, but you're always working in that direction. So we put that ahead of everything else. And you also want to make your facilities, your classrooms safe and secure, because nobody's going to do well as a teacher, as a student, as a visitor if you don't feel safe. So
Right.
we've taken some great steps to make sure that we keep the bad stuff out of our schools the best we can.
Well, and I think once again, what a wonderful way with your background that more so than anybody, I think that you're definitely highly qualified to make sure that that safety is first and foremost. And I know, yeah, that students, it's impossible to learn if you are worried about other things.
Right.
And as far as the staff, I know it's the same thing with the library. I think one of the best things about the library is the staff there. And as far as learning new initiatives or programs, that's the easy part. But if you have the right people there, and people that are going to stay here, and
well, and you know, we hope to grow our own. That's
Right.
it's a tough thing to do, is to grow teachers.
Right.
People think, well, anybody can do that. They can step in a classroom, and I can tell you, 8 years ago when I walked into a high school classroom for the first time, I found out that that's not easy at all. It's tough. No matter how well you know your subject matter, it's tough running a classroom and doing it day in and day out for 180 days a year.
Right, right.
Hard to do.
Right. Well, and just, and with things changing, it's not just textbook learning. There's so many students know more about technology than we do, and a lot of times it's back and forth. They're teaching the teachers just as much as teachers teaching them, and student-led learning. I know there's so many positive things going on. I'm excited. All the facilities, are there any more facility improvements? Are all of those projects complete?
There's always facility improvements. This is why I'm learning that no matter what you build, you're going to find that you've got to maintain it, and that's tough to do. Right now, we have no big construction projects. We've got a few that we need to look at in the future. Some storage facilities, maybe some new roofs and things like that on schools, because of course those things are always deteriorating. But we've got to come to the realization too that a couple of our facilities are getting old.
Right.
And we're going to have to start looking at building at least one new school in the future, in the near future. So as we're developing our 5-year strategic plan right now, we're going to look at what groundwork we need to lay to build a school. And I'm speaking about Pinecrest Elementary, our oldest school, which at some point is going to become just too costly to renovate.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
We got to think about that as a community. I don't know that answer. I don't know that anybody knows that answer today, but we'll work on that with some very smart people inside our school system and a lot of people outside.
Right. Well, and I think just being here in Sylacauga, I'm so proud of the new facilities. The high school looks wonderful, the stadium. And I think as far as recruiting, not only teachers and employees, but people to live here when they're employed here, to stay here when they see these amazing schools and drive past them every day, that's a wonderful way.
Well, it brought me here. That phone call that came a little over 3 years ago, the superintendent said, just come to Sylacauga and take a look.
Right.
So I did, and here's what I noticed. I came down Broadway, I saw a beautiful downtown, I saw our municipal building that looks beautiful, and then right across the street a beautiful library.
It's incredible.
And unbelievable what I saw. And as you go down the street to the north, high school on your left, stadium on your right, and then you get to Nichols Lawson, you see all these things. And I turned around at the end of town and I came back, I said, all right, how did y'all do this? It's absolutely amazing what this town has done.
Right.
And we're so fortunate to have those facilities.
I agree. Well, and especially I know everybody was excited about the football stadium finally being completed. And so, I mean, the fact that B.B. Comer uses it, there's so many people on opposing teams coming in here, and what a wonderful way to showcase what we have.
And it's such a good facility that after our season was over with, Talladega County school system called us and said, can Winterboro use your stadium?
Oh, wow.
Because as you remember, as the rain started, everybody with grass fields found out that they now had mud pits.
Right.
So Winterboro actually used Legion Stadium to play their playoff game.
That's wonderful.
Which was great. It was a great partnership with them.
Well, and that's what it's all about, community partnerships, and I think that's one of the reasons that the school system is so successful, because you do have community partners. Dr. Segars, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk more about everything going on in Sylacauga City Schools.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
As a fitness instructor and former collegiate athlete, I know the importance of eating healthy and staying fit. Hi, I'm Isaac Jennings. Did you know that free after-school meals are available throughout Talladega County for children of the ages of 18 years and under? Please contact Safe Family Services Center if you would like to know more information. And remember, every meal matters, and it all starts with you. Get healthy, Talladega County.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room, to surgery, to cancer treatment, to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Hello and welcome back to the Library Connection. I'm Summer Newman Ernest. Joining me today is Dr. Jon Segars, now the superintendent, 6 months. It's unbelievable. Wow. It seems like just yesterday. 6 months into your position. I know wonderful things happening. We were talking about the facilities, which is something that people can see. But for those of you who don't have students or kids or grandkids in the school system, what are some of the things going on in the classrooms, which is really the most important part?
And the classrooms are, for people my age, very different than what I remember.
Right.
The classrooms are just full of all sorts of resources, to include the technology that we talk about so often.
Right.
Every student has their own device. We have multiple computer labs in every school. We use the term STEM or STEAM or STREAM when you start talking about the technology that we introduce into our school systems. But I can tell you, it's just another tool.
Right.
And there's so many, and nothing replaces that great teacher.
No.
So you can throw all the technology at it you want to, but it's great that our students have that, and they learn on different types of devices. The most prevalent one we see is the Chromebook. But our computer labs in Pinecrest, Nichols Lawson, and even the high school are full of the Apple products, and we've used some Apple programming to give it that real world flavor.
Right. Well, and I think that's the whole purpose, is you're trying to prepare these students for the future, be it college, post high school education, or going straight into the workforce.
Right. And no matter which route you go, workforce or college or both, which a lot of our students are doing, I mean, you'll find that you've got to be able to use those technologies, and you've got to be able to step right into a job knowing the applications that the business is going to use, and that's why they hire you.
Right.
Not because you have gone to college and earned some degree in something. They really want to know what you can do.
Absolutely.
And since you mentioned it, last year 70% of our graduating class went to college.
Wow.
That's a huge number. But we know that a lot of those students will come home without a degree in a couple of years, and that's unfortunate. But colleges have just made it so easy for people to initially get in, to get accepted, and that's great that people can go and experience that. But a lot of them come right back to Sylacauga and enter our workforce here, so we've got to prepare them for both.
Absolutely.
And we do a good job of that.
Well, and I know in your prior position, that was really your main focus, is not only with the business aspect, but bringing in some of the trades and partners with businesses here. What were some of those?
Well, and career tech is huge in our school system, and I always touted the number that half of our students attend some sort of career and technical education course every single week.
Wow.
All the way down to the 3rd grade.
Wow.
Now, we're only funded down to the 6th grade. But we've been fortunate and created some opportunities with some partnerships with businesses and other community partners here, to where we could afford to provide more teachers, more assets, more resources, where students can get those, not necessarily those job skills that they're going to need outside, but they get a taste of what pathway they might want to pursue.
Right. Well, and I love that. Even I know the partnership you have with Coosa Valley Medical Center and doing a lot of the medical classes. There's people that come on there, oh, I want to be a nurse or this, and then they see the side of blood, and
well,
let's learn that while we're still in school before we've paid to go to college for that.
Right. And what we've done with those students, since you mentioned the medical side of things, is we've allowed students to take a look at what all goes on inside a hospital or a doctor's office or a nursing home.
Right.
And said, not everybody in those facilities touches a patient.
Sure.
Some people do, just clerical work. Some people do research. Some people operate machinery or fix machinery. And I said, those are, our medical field is in dire need of employees of all types.
Absolutely.
So I really think our hospital partnership we have here, and what we're able to do by placing those students in there. Matter of fact, this year we have a brand new certified nursing assistant program, and we'll be at the hospital and the nursing home with 10 students for the first time.
Wow.
We'll offer a credential in that, and we've got 10 seniors that are going to participate next semester.
Well, and what a better way to keep those people here in Sylacauga. They've built the relationships, and that hopefully, you know, they can be employed right out of school if they wanted to be.
And those type of credentials don't require a college degree. So we have people training to be teachers, we have people training to be nursing assistants, and some of those people will go straight to work at 18 years old.
Right.
So they may choose to go to college and work their way through college, or they may choose that maybe I'm cut out just to be in the workforce, and that's what I'll do.
Well, I feel like what you're doing is meeting the needs of our community and doing the best job. And not only with the technology, it's something that at the library we focus on, having those computer labs. And I know there's people that don't have access to it at home, and so they can come in at any time to use that, be it to do job applications or research or whatever the need be.
And that's, you know, it's wonderful that our community can provide that, especially at our public library, where it's centrally located, it's welcoming. People walk down the street and can come to the library and use that facility. And I go in there quite often. I enjoy libraries. I can't say I did as a child, and certainly not as a teenager. But as I get older, I can appreciate what we have in that library in our town. It's wonderful.
Well, and the programming, and even more partners with Coosa Valley Medical Center and Community Links. And so I feel like, you know, of course, their business is education, just as yours is. So exciting things going on. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about the arts, one of my favorite parts. We'll be back in just a moment with Dr. Jon Segars.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
As a fitness instructor and former collegiate athlete, I know the importance of eating healthy and staying fit. Hi, I'm Isaac Jennings. Did you know that free after-school meals are available throughout Talladega County for children of the ages of 18 years and under? Please contact Safe Family Services Center if you would like to know more information. And remember, every meal matters, and it all starts with you. Get healthy, Talladega County.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Connection. I'm Summer Newman-Ernest, and joining me today is Dr. Jon Segars, Superintendent of Sylacauga City Schools. We've been talking about all the wonderful things going on inside the classroom, preparing these students for futures and various careers. And one thing that I wanted to talk about that I think has been really, it was when Dr. Freeman came, I felt like he, you know, gave the push to start really pushing the arts more than they had been in the past. And since then, it has just grown leaps and bounds in all different varieties of art, which is dear to my heart as Arts Council President, and partnership with the library and the Arts Council, and just making sure that these students have a little taste of various arts.
And they're getting a big taste of it. We've got a strong group of teachers in the arts, music, theater, the graphic arts. We've got it all, and I'm just amazed every single day. Matter of fact, I just went to our production of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe yesterday, and was absolutely amazed at what the students can do. At our last board meeting, we recognized Jack Vest, who is the Alabama Elementary Art Teacher of the Year.
Yeah, the state Teacher of the Year here in Sylacauga City Schools. That's incredible.
And Jack has done a great job. His work with the bicentennial and having students, 10 of our students, have their artwork on display at the Capitol. And there were only 150 out of the state, so we had 10 of them.
Wow.
So, it was absolutely wonderful what he's been able to do, and what all of our teachers have been able to do. I'm impressed with the music. I wish I could say that I knew something about the arts, but this is it's so foreign to me. But I'll tell you that when I interviewed for the job, one of the questions was how are the arts important to Sylacauga City Schools? And I went down to the art teachers and I said, y'all talk to me about the importance of art in education, I think is the way I phrased it.
Right.
And the first response I got was, the arts are education.
Exactly.
And we talked about that for a while, and it's just amazing how much of a gift that is to our educational system and what it enables those students to do every single day. I'm amazed.
Well, and that is can be such a cross-curricular thing, and especially starting in the elementary, sparking that interest, in identifying those that have special skills or special gifts or talents. I think it's just wonderful. And then, of course, moving into the middle school and the high school, and the band and the show choir and the theater. And when you think about this, you think about people that are just on stage, but there's so much more to it. It's like you said, in the hospitals, there's people who are making the costumes and doing the props and doing the music, and so it can incorporate so many different people with different talents into one common goal.
Right, and the students love it. I mean, they look forward to that. And I heard a young lady tell me one day, she says, the only reason I'm in school is because of my classes that have to do with theater.
Right.
I mean, she's a talented young lady and smart, but she says, I just didn't like school.
Right.
But she says, I'm here because of this.
Right. Well, and that's the thing with sports, and there's so many other extracurricular activities that people can get plugged in and have a vested interest.
And it's easy to talk about the sports, the athletics, because you can see that almost every day.
Sure.
And it's wonderful too. You've got to have those programs, and we do very well in that. But the arts is that alternative in case you don't, or you're not athletic. But I can tell you, I saw some athletes on that stage yesterday. I saw some football players up there, and I'm like, look, those guys are good. So they're multi-talented people up there. So it's wonderful to see that.
Well, and I know we're excited with the Arts Council to be able to award grants to the school, so they can get that extra funding that they might need for a project or a production, because it does require a lot of money.
It does.
As does everything in education.
Requires money. So.
Well, and looking at that, what are some maybe challenges that you face as superintendent in the school system, or just in education in general?
Well, in education in general, it is funding.
Right.
How do you resource all the things that you want to do? And I'll give you an example. We have right at 28 extra teacher units. And now a teacher unit is not exactly a teacher, but it's the way you pay for teachers.
Right.
So 28 additional units in Sylacauga City Schools, because we like to do all this extra stuff.
Right.
Well, when the state awarded educators a 2.5% pay raise this year, those 28 extra units came out of our pocket.
Wow.
So, you have to pay those bills. Now, we're going to figure it out.
Sure.
I'm not in this business to make a profit. I'm in this business to break even and give every dollar I can to students. And, we spend about $10,000 a year on each student.
Wow.
So coming up with that kind of money is a trick.
Absolutely.
And you've got to play the shell game sometimes. Our state superintendent has been very good about looking for resources, and certainly our lawmakers are all over it. They understand the importance of education, and we understand the importance of education in Sylacauga.
Absolutely. So, we were also talking about teacher recruitment. That can be a challenge as well.
It is. It's tough. I need math and science teachers. And you and I laugh about it because I know you're a certified science teacher, but we do. It's hard to find those type of teachers. It's also hard to find special ed teachers, foreign language teachers. Yes. There's just not enough of them out there.
Right.
So you've got to really scratch and claw to find those teachers. And I've got a staff member in my office, and I told her this year, I said, you go find me the best math teacher in the state of Alabama, and just figure out how much it's going to cost us to get them here.
Right.
And just bring them to Sylacauga for a day.
Right.
We can sell them.
Hey, I will sell anybody on Sylacauga. Well,
Right.
And I think that's one thing that just changing your vision of teaching and education, that why should it not be like any other business? If you want to recruit the best,
That's
then
right. Go find
you
them.
might have to do some different things than you've done in the past. And so I hope that we can continue, because I know going through the school system, we had wonderful teachers that were there such a long time, and just and I feel like when I went off to school and compared to all of these other school systems, my education was above and beyond many of what, the school systems that are touted as the best.
And it still is in Sylacauga, but we're not going to stop there.
Right.
We're going to find the absolute very best, and we're going to bring them here.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it costs me, but we're going to figure that out.
Well, I think that's exciting too. If we're looking at future goals, plans, maybe as superintendent, do you have any, for your tenure that you have goals, or even just for the school system as we look forward?
We're working on our strategic plan right now, and it all goes back to academic achievement and student learning. Sometimes you can't always see growth and achievement. You get to the point where you just kind of plateau.
Sure.
We're going to keep going higher, but it's a matter of how much the students learned in class, and that's hard to measure sometimes.
Absolutely.
So we're doing some different things to ensure that students are learning things that are going to help them in their future, not what we think helped us in our past.
Right.
So student achievement's big. I think you're going to see that in some reports that are coming out from the state that Sylacauga is going to be very strong. And we don't want to be a mediocre school system.
No.
We want to put ourselves on that level with the very best school systems in
Absolutely.
Alabama, and that's how we measure ourselves. So
Right.
if we're not at the top, we're going to get there.
Right. Well, and my thing is, why not? If you hold the bar right here, then guess what? That's where you're going to reach. But if you don't, yeah. And so you might as well, reach for the stars. And guess what? And students and the teachers and the staff and everybody will go to that level.
That's right.
As long as you're holding them accountable. So many wonderful things. I'm excited about the projects, the ongoing, hopefully, buildings and improvements, but especially in the classroom and with the arts, and I feel like your vision is right on, and we're just thankful at the library for the many goals that you have, the partnerships, and just to enrich our community.
Well, it's certainly a partnership, and I spend most of my time in the classroom. I don't know if my central office staff likes that a whole lot, but I tell you, I stay in the schools because that's where I learn, and I see what the problems are, and then we can get them fixed.
Right. Well, I know you've driven school buses, right? You've done the
I have driven, and our school board has asked me not to do that anymore, so I'm not driving school buses anymore.
Yeah, but at least guess what? I've been a school bus driver, and you've done it all.
I've done it all in schools in my short time. And I can't say that I've seen it all,
right.
but I've seen where the rubber meets the road,
right.
And I know where we need help.
Well, and I love it. The other day I'm driving by the board, which that's a beautiful building, and so proud of it. But you're out there picking up trash in the grass. So.
Yeah. Some people throw trash in our yard, but it's okay.
Or doing yard work.
And I don't do that because I have extra time on my hands, but I just hope that somebody sees.
Oh no, it was on a weekend. Yeah, I saw you.
I don't have extra time then either, but
no.
If you walk by and you pick up a little trash, hopefully some student or employee or just visitor sees that,
right.
And maybe they'll pick up a piece of trash
right.
and throw it away.
Right. Well, and I think it's all about pride. It's pride in our community, it's pride in our city, it's pride in our schools and our library, and just and making sure everybody's aware of that. I think Sylacauga is great. I'm thankful for the people here. I'm thankful for the opportunities we have, and I feel like we're just growing by leaps and bounds, and the future is just bright for all of us.
It certainly is.
Yeah, well, we are so thankful that you joined us today, Dr. Jon Segars, and hope to hear from you again soon, and we will continue to be looking forward to the many wonderful things going on in Sylacauga City Schools. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Library Connection.